Sometimes I've been in this mood and somebody just come bring me a hot rhythm and I'm like, damn, that bad, and I just catch a vibe and go on it. But and then when it's time for writing and recording and them thing that to start, this kind of slow down more. You know what I mean? So everything's about balance, bro. Everything to me. Ebb and flow.
Yeah, love and drive for it, man. There's times where you do get tired, like I was explaining to my son yesterday. Said, can't shout so loud beside me because I'm the music every day. And so when it comes beside me, and they say, but you do loud music. And I said, but here up. You see when somebody's a driver and drive all day long. Sometimes I want to go on the race, right? The same thing, there's sometimes with music, like right now, for the past, I guess since a month now, I don't feel like writing a lot. I feel like building tracks for setting my thing.
Sometimes I've been in this mood and somebody just come bring me a hot rhythm and I'm like, damn, that bad, and I just catch a vibe and go on it. But and then when it's time for writing and recording and them thing that to start, this kind of slow down more. You know what I mean? So everything's about balance, bro. Everything to me. Ebb and flow. And being ready and having patience. Yeah, for me, I understand that there's a lot of, if you look at sports, there's a lot of different shots in tennis. Backhand shot, forehand, somewhere chop the ball this way, that way. I have people that are better at those, and them play tennis is a rounded game, but they're better at a backhand. So for me, you know, my thing, I'm just better at making music that is what can I say, more palatable for wider audiences. You know what I mean? Because when you check it out, a lot of the violent lyrics will come. It's reflecting life. So no wrong, as may I say, but too much of one thing, it just ain't good for the next. Too much of one thing, it's overbearing. And especially when people like myself have buried my friends from violent means because of violent things. Don't want to hear it no more, bro. I mean, as a kid, it was exciting, but I was inexperienced in life and maybe I wasn't thinking about other people. And so when I look on it now as an elder, when I look on them, I say, yo, you know, when I sing them things, that I didn't think that actually happened to my brethren. You know what I mean? A couple of my brethren, well, and people who I really care about, and it's like, bro, them could have been so great if given the chance of life. And, you know, when people go to church, them sing hymns, joyful noise unto the Lord, but I believe singing in general is that. But when you sing those things, especially the hole in a head kind of thing all the time, it's disheartening, man. And it feel like, you know, I'm not saying it make people pick up a gun. I'm not saying it make kids that were good turn bad. But at the same time, me now go to church. That's not a joyful thing to me again. And believe it or not, it does teach people things, man. Alphabet is taught to kids in a melody form because it is easier to remember that way. It's quicker for your memory to catch it. So, you know, when I never know what is a copper shot, is Bounty Killer singing time, I say, what else am I singing about? And even though it never influenced me, if you go say, oh, I'm going to buy a copper shots, there's times where there's younger people who are more influenced than me, who was already facing that type of lifestyle and had no other option, and you singing about it kind of give them, and not just kind of killer tune alone. So I hope you don't misquote. I hope you don't get me like. But when we do sing things like this, it kind of give the general sentiment that that's okay, and it's not okay. It's not. If we're going to be the newspaper for the streets and report what is happening in the streets and around us, then fine. But there come a time where there must be something else that our general thoughts of our youths in this country should be thinking about, you know? Yeah, man. Like Nas do a song, one of the greatest hip hop song, rap song, you know, when he have a song named The Gun. And he's actually the gun. He's saying, I am a rusty old gun, and I sit in a cupboard until this dude come pick me up and boom, and then and I brought fear and pain into people's life, and he's telling you from a gun, so it's very creative. I don't find we do that a lot. I don't find we do that enough. There are creative people, but then again too, you know, it's the crowd too. So it's just we, and why we are like that. Why is bad news travel quicker than faster and quicker than good news? The reason is, for me, I feel it's a survival thing. If thousands of years ago a lion walked into a village and eat a kid, and everybody was nonchalant about it, nobody would have that in their collective memories. You understand? But it's frightening to see that, and it's grief, and it's so we have a thing about it. It's like, yo, there's a lion. So a lion, the near the village, or in the village, and it cause havoc. So these are things that's supposed to make the leaders hear the cry of the music. There's a lion in the street, and go do something about it. But they haven't done nothing about it for all these years. And so now it turned into a point where it's just too much saturation for me. So me not like that. But them still doing an important job still, to tell the truth. But it's just the way how you do it. As you say, it could have been more creative. It could have been more constructive. You know what I mean? I remember a song with Jesse Royal and Stoneboy right now off of Live and Livin, called Guns and Avalon, and it just a talk about, and the video is like a short movie showing you, yeah, these are the things I'm saying in there, head back split, all this kind of thing, but I'm not glorifying it. I'm not saying I'll do that or I am doing that to them boy there. Because when we really checked out who is them boy who is singing about, I know nobody outside of our genre. We are singing about ourselves. So that's an important thing, that even though we're talking the things them that we're seeing around us, we could try to do it in a more creative manner, as I say, like what Nas do, or like we I do in other song that me and Jesse and Stoneboy. It still a talk the badness and what's happening, but it ain't saying that that's a great thing. Because it's like evolving. It's like we're not saying that part of dancehall is not necessary. It is very gruesome, but also make we evolve from it. Let us try to sing a song where it does talk about that, but it uplift people's mind to say, yeah, that's not right, because it happened to my cousin, my niece, it happened to my family, you know what I mean? It happened to people I care about. Yeah, technology back then, you did have to really record a song one time, and dubplate it especially. There was less tracks too, and so when you go record evening of studio for 45, you should know the song from beforehand. After the Pro Tools start get more and more, and all of these things start get more and more, we got more and more tracks because of the computers. It was easier to stop, and that has impacted on a lot of the artists coming up, I believe, for me. So technology help in terms of I can get my music out there. A lot of people can see me from bedroom. I build this rhythm in my bedroom, I record it in there, I send it out to the world from there, and now I'm famous and everybody likes it and blah, blah, blah. There's 1 in a million people going to be like that, because them don't really go through the proper lines and the proper training and these things. Like when me buck up Steely, and Steely tell us, yo, you see me? You know our voice good. Come out to the studio if you saw your voice. And you say, Jano, you have to pressure yourself to, yeah, like, no, it's like in your bedroom, or I'm not saying everybody's recording in their own room or whatever, but there's less of that scrutiny by the big producers who know the thing and been through the training, so that affects us too. So technology has been a thing where it have both sides of the sword. It changed things forever. But again, we just have to look on the positive side. I know that I have certain of that training there where me come from, and so when it comes into what we're doing today, I try to, put some of that back in there. Other than that, to me, dancehall has grown producer-wise and artist-wise, where and just as a genre wise, even though we might not be selling the amount that people, and there's not a lot of artists that pop off, there's a lot of things against us. Um, some of them are just natural and it just as so it go. We speak a patois language. I love it. I express myself in it, and I'm not saying people is to change that. But I'm saying to you that we are only 3 million people, not even, and a couple more on the outside. I have probably 8 million people on the earth who really know patois good. There's billions of people here. You know what I'm saying? So that's a thing, that's a barrier to us in the first place. Where when reggaeton was coming up, I was like, boy, when this will really catch a fire, that's going to be huge all over the world. It affected so much different genres and those things. So dancehall and reggae to me has grown bigger and is a more what can I say, more accepted and well-wide known popular music, not just an underground thing. So all those changes happen, and as I said, there's good and bad in all of it. You know what I mean? Some people might say, "Oh, these foreign people doing our music, wash it away." But then my point is, if they didn't come on and do it, where would be arguable? You know what I mean? We wouldn't have influenced them. Yeah, so it's an influence. And then people hear me cuss about them same people and say, yo, because I don't hear them bigging us up. I hear them saying, this is my latest single. R. Kelly was one of them from a long time do it. I respect when like people like Beyonce come through and say, I want a song with you. Because she come down here for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's R. Kelly and them people was kind of just doing it on them own. Move your body like I say, man, do. That a dance already. And the melodies, him singing and that kind of stuff, he never came and integrated with us. Then the B-boys them and all that. You know, so I do cuss about them as well. But only the ones who, like Rihanna, I'm bigger up because Rihanna saying, I'm doing a dancehall album. So she's giving energy to the genre to say, yo, that's the music I'm doing. I'm not just saying I'm innovative and this is my next single, you know? Because I find that's what enough of them doing. So with everything is a double side story. Technology affected us, but you can get the music out there. Then the popularity affected us. There's negative parts, as I said, but the more positive side is that we have had so much influence on these other genres, and there's no key players from this genre that are highly sought after products. Yeah. Yeah. And so it's up to us for help. When you say something about a while ago about taking an interest in what was happening in the music and in the culture and the history, that is what people like me and Shaggy and others, that Born to Killer and people who have had a big career, that look back and say, all right, I have to help these youths. I have to show them some form of way. You know what I mean? Yeah, it can. There's big songs that have come from straight out, some of my biggest songs, straight out of what is authentic dance. I may not be the most hardcore dancehall song you ever hear. And it might, to a dancehall enthusiast, be a more smooth sounding or sweet sounding song like a Light Glue or one of them songs there. You know, it sounds sweet. There's a lot of melodies in it and that kind of stuff, but it is authentic dancehall. So that's an example of songs that are Temperature. To me, that was a very hardcore or authentic dancehall rhythm. What I did on it was definitely, you know, I can say that's kind of that's a popular type of a fun type of song. You know what I mean? But when you check it out, reggae is or has essentially been rebellion type of music. That's what people think of. They think of rebellion, they think of also love and romance and things like that. I don't remember a lot of reggae songs, if any at all, that were sung in broad patois. But it was the rebellion music and the attitude that taught us to, yo, sing you how you talk. Sing how you talk. So those were important parts of of the evolution anyway. When reggae was singing and you have Bob Marley say, turn your lights down low. It's English that. Everybody hear it, understand it. You know what I mean? And he broke down certain barriers and things, and then the youths in this country is like, yo, rebel to the point that is like, I want to chat in the song. Oh, me chat. You know, I want to say, turn your lights down low. I want to say, you know, let me give you some. All right, well, that's English too, but there's songs that are like, I love it like a fresh vegetable. That the concept of it is like, what? All right, we're not talking about the eating part. We just talk the concept of the song. You know what I mean? It's more patois was singing. And so the reggae revolutionary music gave us as a people, the younger generation, subconscious, like, yeah, man, chat out. And so I don't think reggae was as raw as dancehall, but it was a revolutionary music. Where I see it going, it's huge. There's countless amount of stories. Look at Chiching, she's a success story for him, and that's what I'm saying. It's growing. You know, when you see hip hop music leave from the boogie down Bronx and start go Queens and you know, and then it go Atlanta and then it go Miami and West Coast and then it went France and Germany and England and started own little thing. That means that genre is huge. It just take the rest of the key players now. What it was the talent to bring us there. But now you need people to manage that talent and proper how the business set up without trying to change us too much. But it's always been a fight for me because yesterday I had a call from a very popular young artist and he said a company want to sign him and what me think about them. And I'm like, bro, that company is a great company. But with every one of them, you have to be in war with them at the same time. When them say you're in bed with them, but you're in war with them. Because they're putting out your music and them will give you money and they're helping your popularity. But at the same point in time, what is culturally appropriate for them to do, sometimes we don't want to do that. I can't do that. And he understood. And another bro, big rapper, asked me to do a song one time. And he had a lyric say, I just want you to sing this. I'm saying, I can't sing that. And he was like, what do you mean? He was vexed because he was like, the tune bad. I just want to hear your voice. She said that. I mean, I pay. What you talk about? I said to him, so my culture, I understand what you mean by that. And it's innocent. And I know you don't mean what you saying. What my culture would treat like, but I can't sing that to my culture. Because it's gonna be a wrong move in my footsteps. So, and it was kind of vexed, but these are the wars that you have to go through. You know what I'm saying? And everybody have them different levels of things like that. Because you have some people that come around here as just Dirty Rat Records. We're not a big foreign company, Dirty Rat Productions, and we might have a rhythm around here that kind of really sweet sounding, lot of melodies. Like that one them I build now. And some of them just want more hardcore stuff and they're like, that's not for me, and them sit out, that's their personal decision. You know what I mean? But at the same time, when you get signed, you still have to go war. No matter if them treat you good and give a bag of money, they might expose your work and you still have to range them up. So don't feel like it's just a pushover thing or a good thing. It's a fight every step of the way. So the genre getting bigger and there's gonna be more opportunities like that. As I said, yesterday, a very popular artist in the genre called me and asked me what a company. I'm gonna say, sign. Look on the greatness me do with VP Records. And them sign through them do a thing with Atlantic. We brought that whole thing to a different level. It don't matter the label from here, I get exposure, it's a stepping stone. Until they reach to a level like myself where I feel like say, yo, I just want to put out my own thing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
But they're a stepping stone, them can help. You just have to fight with them. Me, bro, that's why I consume YouTube. I still don't do, I have Spotify and I do them thing there, but and yeah, I am streaming on those platforms crazy amounts. But for me, no more have an old school kind of vibe. I mean, You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the sales thing and the streaming thing has always been weird to me and how it stay. Because I don't really think like that. In 2005, I got an email of people saying radio was losing its, what can I say, its power, right? Because less and less people are listening and they're listening more to internet stuff. And they were saying in the email, say, it's a thing was going on in the business, saying that, internet and these kind of things and social media are gonna be more effective. And I'm like, but what happened to the old lady them where live out now, you know what I mean, Black River, and them have them radio that them a listen they don't have, if them have even internet, it not fast, and it, you know what I mean? It's like, what happened to the lady who's sitting right there? That's people, and there's a lot more people like that to me. So for me, the radio still have power, but this generation has proved it to me. When I ignored that, how much years ago? That's 2005, and they were saying by 2010 the shift are gonna happen, and I'm like, and it did it. Me see it with my eyes, and I'm like, damn. So for me as a consumer, I'm still old school like that. I think that way, but I see the effects of the Pandora and the Spotify and these Tidal and all that, Apple Music. It's like, my problem with it was, all right, so I pay this amount of money per month, and I'm just listening to different songs. But sometimes I see people, and I do it too, when I do go on Pandora, especially when it's a genre where I don't really know fully, just put it on the radio station a bit, and it does a roll songs. So while that recording as a stream, I may not know that song there, I really want to hear that song there. I just listen. But that person get a stream from me. So it's not exactly like to me back in the day when a man say, or somebody sit down and say, I want to buy that record there, because it's my song for own it and play it in my car like when I want to play it. Now Pandora and them thing, it have a thing where it's a playlist thing more time. You can just put it on, so by default certain people get streams from you. So to me, it's a weird thing. I don't really I love technology. You see me, I use it there, but I don't make it dictate my every movement. So I moved into that very slow, and social media too and all that thing. Taking part in the history of this country, of this culture that taught me so well, that I enjoyed so much as a kid, that I still enjoy today, that brought me to the world. You know what I mean? For me, moving away or not being involved in the history of what is happening here is a no-no for me. And I know it's hard to do sometimes, because sometimes you come from a certain area here, become popular, and a lot of people problems start bother you. You have your own problem, but because you have the power, in the society or in that community, you know what I mean, a lot of things come at you. So it's like, it easy if you get involved in certain thing where boy, you shouldn't do it. Or it easy for some people just move from it. You know what I mean? So, but for me, I come from a community where like in Jamaica, where it's a different setting. I get problems too. I get people problems every day. But I'm sure it's not like what Shabarangs was receiving in Seaview. You know what I mean? Yeah, because there's a lot more neediness around him. So, and he's there being seen every day and things. So those things I take into account too. And say, boy, I have the space to be able to partake in history and help push it. I help make certain root of it still be a factor instead of a change totally and completely and sound like something else. Because I think that's what's going on now with a lot of the trap stuff. I never ever said don't do it. I myself experiment with a lot of different forms of music in my music. But I still want to hear the root at times. I want the youth them can be able to DJ upon, Punani rhythm or Pepper Seed rhythm just as they can, the Dolly rhythm or whatever I want the name right now. You see me? Yeah, and to me it's like, alright, so when you say more people can have a say in it, if you have a profession like lawyers or doctor profession type thing, medicine or law. Those have a certain standard, you know what I mean? And in a music, yeah, we come from a raw setting. But so did rock and roll. Rock and roll was a rebellious, raw setting music. And it come to have a certain structure where work and turn big and, you know? When you look for Afrobeat and reggaeton, the structure there actually a miss from what we doing. You know? There's a certain amount of balance where we have to have the freedom to create as and to develop and mature and evolve in the way we see fit. But at the same point in time, the structure they need to be there. And you need to pay attention to say sometimes the quality of what you're putting out is going to be affected when you have younger people not paying attention to that root of the thing and certain structure that fit there. Come say, yo, we're there for an interview, bro. So, don't it, fam, but when Steely cuss you and say, yo, when Steely cuss you and say, you know, our voice good, come out of the studio, where you there? Them youth don't have them thing there no more, bro. When we don't have no people like Steely or you know, even Lenky them, I show them, like how you see staff come here a while ago, I may have time say, yo, which one, because I can do the two key them, but I want to know which one the more comfortable for me, yes, sir. But he must say, film ears, he must hear it sweet up there, so I did something for do. Those are directions that not really happening. Like when you look at the Main Street camp, is what Danny Brown is a very jovial person. And he love tell joke. And when you go around, I'm sure they'll bear that. So all of the song them was fun. All of them song there. Even when Mother and Joe talk about some social commentary, something where it's serious, it was funny. That was that camp. And then you have, you know, still, you know, have fun same way, but you have more hardcore and raw things talking about in a film, something there, production. So it's the influence of the different camps and the different people and more time where, to me, that didn't matter. You know what I mean? Because when I say two energies, two head better than one. You form a group and you talk about Ray, and you as the artist, Dave Kelly have his own segment to Anthony. It's like, no, it's just a bunch of people out there and them can do what they want to do. And only the ones who scrutinize themselves a lot and go back to the drawing board and say, no, this is not good enough. And it's competing with him own self, with them last song them. You know what I mean? Only them the way you're going to hear a whole heap.
Yeah.
And have longevity. Reason being, many years I want to do certain things. You know, Dr. Cup Crew was the crew at first, and we worked with them. And over the years, I worked with other artists like Shayna. I worked with people, you know, coming up who they in the game before me, like Fambo, people like Left Side, people like you know, producers like Steve McGregor and younger Dan Carleon. When them like they became huge, but at first they wasn't really that big. Blacks is one of them. Blacks, the producer, R.I.P. to him. You know what I mean? It's like these were people who I saw talent and felt talent from and say, yo, I have to work with them. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the time you have these dreams and you want a certain thing, and the company them where, as I say, you're in bed with, them down here. Like I can give a couple instances. One time I do a tune with Conscience, and they had wanted to put Richo McQuan on it. I mean, of course them. I was like, I don't know who is Richo McQuan. And he turned out to be a very successful artist. But they was like, we want to put this guy on it. And I was like, but me want to put an artist who is hot in Jamaica right now. Because that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? And we end up putting Conscience on there. But I had to fight for it. You know what I mean? So there's always that fight there, and is, you know, you will do 50 tune and then end up pick off 9 and say, is this we are work with? I was like, damn, man. So what happened to the rest of the song them? And how they might have waste or whatever. So over the years I wanted to do it, and when I first signed with Island Records, them give me the creative space to do a thing. Put out some music and thing. But so kind of just like singles, like 45. And then I started doing jugglings, and then I said, you know, I want to do like what I want to do an album like what I want to do. And so I was putting together these singles to put out, and I start realize, say, yo, there's an album, this and they gave me the opportunity. This was 2017 I signed. I tell them I want to put out a mixtape, and they said, don't do it. Don't put out a mixtape yet. I could put out the first album. And a bag of things go on. And my father gets sick, so my kind of focus did switch up, and I just put a bunch of tunes together and put it out, and it did very well. That was called the prequel. Zine. Because I was saying, yo, this is not really the really finished album. The focus changed in our life, and just like I put out that music there. Did well on my tour, nothing at 2015, 16, 17. But I didn't get to put out my mixtape, and then I say, yo, this year when the COVID leak, and then I say, well, I put back your album because I say, all right, let me put out my thing. Yeah, so it was kind of coming from a mixtape perspective. So that's why there's so much artists and so much different producer on there and thing. And only one single song from me. Everybody who work with on it, rate them from artist to producer to engineer to the artwork person. All of them, I see them as people who a lot can come from if given the chance. You know? I'm putting out this album Scotch, and that is for Island Records. So that still have a few hardcore or more authentic dancehall singles on it, and not so much of the poppy thing, but there's more of the poppy side on that album. That come out in April. I starting back touring kind of more them time there, hopefully. We already put together our next album for them, you know, because I have 2 albums left, The Scotch and one more. And so we've been putting together a new one, quite a few tracks deep. Other than that, I want to put out albums for artists like Ching. I have 2 more albums put out for him. We signed him to that, his 3 album. Fambo and me doing a thing. Me and Busy are doing our next thing. So we're looking forward to kind of doing works like that. Big up Rasa Jai, artist from Portmore area, and it's a brilliant writer and voice too that I'm working with closely. And Soto Bless, somebody else in the Dirty Cup camp that we are looking for, kind of push them career in this year. So we're going to be releasing a lot of singles and juggling underneath Dirty Rock umbrella with all them works there. As for timelines, I only know Scotch for now, and it depends on how big it get. If it usually my albums with a major company that push it and whatever goes a certain distance. So a few months I working on that for a while, but it's in between time I go drop certain singles from different artists and projects like EPs and whatever. So